Isn't that a funny conversation, man? That's a funny conversation because we all know what it's like. Have you ever been on a bad show?
On a bad show? Like a bad TV? No, not really. I haven't done that many different TV shows.
There's a bunch of dudes out there right now working in lumber yards, driving trucks, taking meth, trying to stay awake, listening to us right now, going, you fucking bitches are complaining about being on a shitty TV show. Where do I sign up, bro? Where the fuck do I sign up to get out of this job? And you're right, folks. You're right. But you gotta humor us.
Yeah.
You gotta humor us. Because I've been on a bad show. And I was on a show that was it was worse than a bad show. It was a good show. It turned into a bad show. I was on the show called Hardball, and it started out, these guys who wrote it, they wrote for The Simpsons, they wrote for Married with Children, Jeff Martin and Kevin Kern, really smart guys.
Yeah.
And they wrote this hilarious pilot. We did it. Jim Brewer was in the pilot, and I was in the pilot, and a bunch of other people that wound up doing a bunch of different movies and shit. And it was a funny pilot, and then the network got a hold of it, and they just fucked the shit out of it. And they threw in some really hacky producer who wound up getting fired like halfway through the 6 episodes that we did. And it was allegedly there was a bunch of other shit going on, and the writing was off the charts bad.
Yeah,
it was so I got to be like on a bad show. It's a terrible feeling, man.
For a season?
No, only like 6 episodes.
6 episodes.
But the first one was the pilot, which was really funny, and then it was like all of a sudden I was over here doing something that was terrible. And you're better off doing nothing than doing something you hate.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense because you make money and ultimately it's worth doing. And ultimately for me it was definitely worth something because I learned from the experience. Like, you can't just do a TV show.
Right.
You got to be sure. And even if you're sure, like the pilot was really funny, I was pretty sure that would be okay. It doesn't matter because a bunch of other factors can fall into place.
Yeah. I just remembered I did do a bad show. It was my TV show last year.
What happened with that?
We had our moments, but we
might need some more booze to get the truth out of you.
Yeah. No,
Jamie, get out here with some ice.
I think it had its moments, but they came with an idea. They came to me. And the producer and Comedy Central came. Basically, this is the show. This is the idea. Hannibal doing sketches, man on the street stuff. Just figuring out the answers to these questions. But it's just, I guess we didn't really focus it and focus the point of view, and it was kind of all over the place. And we had our funny moments and did a couple good sketches, but it just by the end of it, it didn't feel. I wasn't excited anymore. Like those last 2 episodes were just, when we do it in front of a live audience, it really was just about finishing that shit, man.
Wow, I hate to hear that, man.
Yeah, but I'm happy I did it, and I had that moment where, for what was that, 2 months last year, I had my own TV show. Not a lot of people get to say that. But it's just, and you learned a lot. I learned a lot. It was fun. Got to work with some cool people. But yeah, it just wasn't as far as what I wanted my first, kind of headlining project to be. It wasn't that.
Beautiful.
That's
Jameson and whiskey and ice just brought up. Now, what were you trying to do and what went wrong?
You know what?
Am I an interviewer now? Listen to that. Give me the glass, bro. Give me some ice. I sounded like Matt Lauer.
What are you trying to do?
I just went into interview mode as I got some ice.
I think I kind of went into it not really knowing. I mean, I learned later on how to run things better and how to give people direction on what I needed a little bit better, but I don't think we came in with a focus, because I was thinking with a TV show, not that we would completely wing it, but that we would be able to kind of find it as we go. We never did a true pilot episode.
Cheers.
We never did a true pilot episode. Our pilot episode was our premiere episode, and I look at some of my choices. I chose this weird ass closing bit on there. Well, why did I pick that as a bit? I didn't write it, but I liked it. And sometimes you like stuff in the writer's room, like, that is hilarious, and then you execute that shit, and you're like, what were we doing?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. Outside of a television show,
Yeah.
if you were just sitting around and someone said, Hannibal, I want you to just be your creative self, would you ever gravitate towards writing sketches?
Would I gravitate towards writing?
Yeah.
Just
on your own?
On my own? No, but it's sometimes where I come up with something that definitely works better visually than
stand-up.
Than stand-up.
Yeah.
Like, I try to tell a stand-up bit, but it'll work better visually or animated or as a sketch. Yeah. Yeah,
definitely. I agree. There's some subjects that I've had to abandon because they really did. I thought they were hilarious, but I couldn't. They just didn't. Right. They were a better idea for like a play than they would be for stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But when we're coming up, everybody wanted to be on Saturday Night Live because Eddie Murphy was on there.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be on sketch comedy shows because that would lead to these big careers like, Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider and all these people that became like these huge movie stars, right? Mm-hmm. So we all like gravitated towards acting, and then there was sitcoms where Roseanne made all this money, and then Seinfeld made all this money. It's like, oh shit, I gotta get a sitcom.
Yeah.
But when I was on that bad sitcom, halfway in, I was like, this is not what I wanted to do.
Right.
Like, I fucked up. I listened to I want to do stand-up.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to do. Now, with a guy like you, like, what I want to hear is you talk about everything. I don't want to hear, I want to hear you doing prepared shit if that's what you want to do. Like, what I would want to hear from you, if I was a producer and I was a network and I was Comedy Central, I would say, Hannibal, listen, fuck all these executives. Fuck all these producers. What do you think is funny? Like, what do you want to do? I want to know. I don't want a bunch of people filtering the Hannibal vision by the time. Like, when Doug Stanhope and I did The Man Show, which was a giant mistake, one of the big problems with that show was, like, with Doug and I had a fucked up idea, by the time it would get to it would be all watered down by the time it would ever get to the television. There's no way you could just have the only way to do that is like the internet. The internet is the only way where you could just, like, if someone was smart, they would come along and they would say, listen, if I was Comedy Central, I would say, Hannibal, it's just like, we're just going to give you a bunch of money and we're just going to give you a production team and just come up with whatever the fuck you want to come up with. I want you to take 6 months, just think about what you want to do. Because I know it's going to be funny. I think you're hilarious. I'll take 6 months. Come up with whatever the fuck you want to do. Now let's put this shit online. Let's do this. Come on, Hannibal. And then if they wanted to make a television show out of that, I mean, that's what happened with Ari Shaffir's show.
Yeah. Yeah, they were doing it as the online thing.
Yeah.
First. Yep.
And the online, honestly, the online's better. It's better to get on the online.
No.
If you go on the online, it's there always. It's there any minute of any day. If it's just the TV version of it, I mean, once it goes online, then it becomes equal to the online version.
Right.
But there's no, like, loss in not having the TV version. Because, like, if someone watches Comedy Central during a show when Ari's on, like, what is Ari's ratings? What did he get, like $1 million an episode? Or 1 million people an episode? $1 million an episode, he'd be very happy.
That'd be crazy.
But if he got 1 million people an episode, like, you could easily, if you had a crazy viral video, like some of Joey Diaz's videos, they probably have close to 1 million, right? Yeah. Like, how many of Joey's things on This Is Not Happening have more than 1 million? Find out what Joey Diaz's stories on This Is Not Happening have. I guarantee you they have 1 million.
Yeah, because people, I mean, it's just, people can watch it on their phone, they can watch whatever, they
and
share
they hear
it,
and they tell your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so
the internet's where it's at.
If you did that, and you had a show like that, it was just you, if you really want to do a show, just you doing whatever the fuck you think is funny, shit would be giant. I'd watch it.
I'm going to figure it out.
Sure, I'd DVR the shit out of that show.
I'm going to figure it out. I've been kind of...
What do we got here? It's us. Oh, look. Yeah. What is this? This Is Not Happening. Joey Diaz. 1,129,487 views. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real numbers, man. I mean, that's the same kind of numbers you get if you have a TV show. It's the same shit. Right?
Definitely.
It's real close, man. We're like maybe a year or two away from the idea of being on a television show being no different than the idea of being on a YouTube show.
Even, I mean, a lot of these, I'm doing some Celebrities React show on Thursday where they, like, our viewership is 4 times the average TV show. Like, that's in the email. They talk about their numbers. Like, yeah, it's 2 times the normal. This 4 times that. It's just, and they have a crazy subscriber list and all on YouTube, millions of subscribers. YouTube is where it's at for a lot of things.
It's just a matter of time.
Or just, I mean, that's how Comedy Central now judges the success of their shows, not just on the on air, the initial airing.
Yeah.
They judge it based on the Facebook shares, the YouTube stuff, the Snapchat thing, and all of that. It's a combined formula that they use to judge the success of the show.
It's smart. I mean, that's really the way to think about it, because they have to be honest. There's a giant percentage of the people that are going to watch their show on YouTube or any other. Whether I mean, I don't know how many people watch ComedyCentral.com. Do you know? I would imagine it's not nearly as much as YouTube. Yeah. But what's amazing about YouTube is there's only one YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, how is there not a million YouTubes? How is there not a million of these weird websites where you can just upload video anytime you want and watch the craziest shit all day long? I mean, there's Live Leak, right? There's what are the other ones?
There's a lot of weird ones that are based on,
but they're not popular.
Not one, yeah.
Well,
there's one popular one. If you say
Google bought YouTube though.
Skynet.
135 million bucks is all they paid too.
That's it?
Yeah. For YouTube?
Yeah.
That's good.
When did they buy it?
Deal.
Like 2004 or 5, I think.
How much is Kanye's entire sneaker line worth? If he sold every sneaker, is that 100 million?
I don't know. It's worth pretty close to that, probably.
That's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's how much they paid for that. For YouTube. YouTube is a monster.
Yeah.
It's somehow or another in this world of the internet where there's probably like what? How many hundreds of millions of websites?
I take that. I had to correct that. 1.65 billion in stock. Not
oh, you son of a bitch!
Wrong comma.
Jesus, Jamie. Meanwhile, here's some perspective. The UFC sold for $4 billion. It's more valuable to kick people in the dick and the head and elbow them in the face than it is to create YouTube.
Yeah.
I looked some up on it the other day. I think that's why their numbers were stuck in my head. It's at least from what I read, it costs something like $6.7 billion to run YouTube right now.
Every year?
A year, and like the revenue they're getting, maybe just from ads, is like less than $5 billion. So they're taking a loss on it, but
what?
It's just they're doing the future bet, kind of like it won't be that for 4 or 5 more years. It's just how it has been.
Oh, so that's why there's only one YouTube. It's fucking tough to be YouTube.
Expensive.
That makes sense. It's amazing, though. I mean, that's if you want to talk about an incredible example of success, like YouTube is the only video upstream place that everybody, or upload place that everybody recognizes instantly.
Yeah.
In the sea of the internet.
It's
that's incredible.
It's top notch, man. They do some good shit. Do you do ads with them?
No.
No?
I mean, they put up ads, but I don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
We do just ads on this show, and then we upload. The difference between the YouTube version of this show and the podcast version, the podcast version has ads that we read, like from a promo email thing, and then the YouTube one has no ads. It just goes up, and then whatever ads, YouTube ads, they add it.
Okay. Ads for On It. I took some of the On It.
How you feeling?
I think I'm feeling, I don't know. I mean, maybe the whiskey is canceling it out. Or maybe I'm just normal. Nah, I'm feeling a little drunk. I'm good.
Yeah, it's not going to help the drunk too much. Maybe it'll help you formulate sentences. Meanwhile, the word formulate came out very clumsily. Formulate.